Hi, this is Ryan from xcannabis.com, and I've been discussing this whole rescheduling cannabis thing with a lot of people, and so since a couple weeks ago, I've been trying to work on a new show for Sensi Life. Between the move, the new baby, and a lot of different things that are happening, I haven't done any radio shows since March. I guess my last one was April. I did a radio show during our last Sensible Washington meeting, April 1st. But I've neglected to do any radio shows because it's just been too busy for me. But this is too important of an issue to pass by, so I'm going to be doing a new show on rescheduling cannabis. And I think this is a very important topic because if we let the big pharmaceutical companies have cannabis, that means that prohibition is going to have a new source of funding. The problem with that is that currently the feds can't go after everybody. That's everybody's excuse for not legalizing completely. You know, the people who are against Prop 19, the people who are against Initiative 1149, the people who are against legalization in general. And I've had some discussions with certain people on YouTube, and we have a group that's about what's going on in Washington. It's currently titled the third bill for medical cannabis, H-2827. But as the bill has changed, this is the third one. We've changed the name too. But there's been people there, and I've been getting some resistance to the legalization thing, just like I did with Prop 19. I mean, I didn't even know these people, and they were coming at me with, insults and even threats, and I recorded them. I don't mean to offer personal insults. One guy says, I don't think a good debate tactic is to offer personal insults, and I don't think so either, honestly. I don't think offering threats, I don't think offering insults, and I don't think offering meaningless sarcasm is a good debate tactic. I try not to go there, and I think that my record speaks for itself. I have a lot of videos on YouTube, and I have a lot of radio shows all the way from December 2010 till April 2011. And I think we had some good shows, so I don't think that it's a great debate tactic to do those things either. And I think that I've demonstrated that. One guy's saying, "Oh, let me offer you some advice and help you out here," and I would love that. And what I've told everybody is, lead by example, lead by demonstration. I don't want to hear your criticism if you're not going to be able to do a better job yourself. If you can do a better job than me, by all means, please go out there and spread the word because we need more of that. I've just been reporting on my disappointment with NPR. I mean, NPR used to, well, they still are. They're my homepage on my browser, and actually, they're not going to be anymore because I'm not really happy with, for example, one of their main stories. They're not even reporting on pot anymore, but one of their main stories is teen sleeping habits. That's their featured story today. Teen sleeping habits. Are you serious? I can't even believe it. That's why we need more media sources, is because all these big media sources are being bought out. So anyway, my whole topic on the rescheduling versus full legalization topic, and my whole proposition is this. If we wait for Big Pharma to take cannabis, we won't have it anymore. Ma and Pa are not going to be able to open up a pharmacy. That's why you don't see very many mom and pa pharmacies anymore. That's why there's big corporate conglomerates like Walgreens and such. And as far as the manufacturing of it, well, when they've patented every single molecule of the cannabis plant and every single usage, then the only people who are going to be able to do any manufacturing, producing, growing, whatever, for any kind of profit is going to be, big pharma. People that can afford the patents, the FDA's licensing and all the other stuff, all the inspections and all that process, and that's not cheap. So those people are going to be manufacturing it. The big corporate conglomerates are going to be selling it, and then they're going to be infusing the government with more money to enforce prohibition, just like with things like uh, Lortabs, OxyContin. I was in jail with a guy back in Utah when I was in for cannabis. He was in for OxyContin. And then my friend in Utah, he just got busted for Xanax, and he spent 2 months in jail for that. And these are Schedule II drugs. And I've offered proof all over Cannabis several times that the DEA is definitely going to reschedule cannabis. They're working on it now. The FDA is on board with it. I think that they're just waiting for a few more patents to come up, and they're trying to help Big Pharma get their hands around it a little more before they actually release it to a new schedule. And I don't like that idea. I don't like us waiting for it to be rescheduled. I think that if we reclassify it as an herb, as something non-toxic, as something non-regulated, then it will be like thyme, rosemary, echinacea. I don't see any reason for it to be regulated. It's not a scary plant. It has never killed anybody from a toxic overdose. It has no lethal dose value. There's no LD50 rating, and it's non-addictive. I mean, caffeine is more addictive than cannabis. I mean, cannabis may have some habit-forming properties, but certainly no more than caffeine or chocolate or a lot of the other things we use day to day. And it's certainly not as harmful as aspirin, which my 5-year-old can go in the store and buy at any time. 7,500 people a year in the United States alone die from these anti-inflammatories and aspirin. And, and aspirin's deadly. It can be. And my 5-year-old can buy that. So I don't think that, cannabis should be scheduled as something scary or something regulated or something restricted. I think it should be like an herb. I think we should be able to go into the herb store and buy it. And I think parents should regulate their children on all things, on sex, on drugs, on driving, on, all these different things that we have to watch out for with our kids. I mean, I know at 12 years old, I was, jumping in my parents' car and driving around. My dad was cool with it. And I could have gotten in big trouble. But, my kids won't be doing that, and that's just what it is. It comes down to personal responsibility. Now, the reason why I'm opposed to it is because of all the patents that they've got. And if you want to look this up on Cannabis, I posted this on May 12th, 2011. It's called Lo and Behold, They Want to Reschedule Cannabis. If you type in up in the search on the top right side, reschedule cannabis, you'll find several of these that I've posted on this. But I just counted, they have over 100 different patents on cannabis, on the molecules, on the processes, on the treatments. And they're patenting it. Well, why are they patenting it if it's not medicine yet? They can't even use these patents. Well, it's because it's about to be. It's about to be rescheduled. And they know it. Why else would they be rescheduling cannabis? Or why else would they be patenting cannabis? And it's not going to be going to little guys. It's not going to be going to mom and pa. It's going to be going to big pharma with all their big money. And the taxes are going to go to fund more prohibition, just like it does with other Schedule II drugs. So I think it's a bad idea to wait for legalization. I think Initiative 1149 in Washington and this new Jack Herer initiative that will be coming out in California are the way to go. And it's a good first step to real, true legalization, to reclassifying this plant as something that's harmless, because it is. And we shouldn't be worried about it. We should. And so anyway, I've got a show. I may be the only one on it. I don't know. I've tried to invite some people that are opposed to this. This guy Sam on Facebook says he's got a great plan. Basically, and this is how I understand it, I could be wrong, and I want him to explain it someday, but if he refuses, and he may, I seem to get a lot of insults from him, but I don't seem to get a lot of demonstration of his proposal. But basically what he said is that, if we just treat cannabis like a co-op, like a statewide co-op for medicine, and we all cooperate, we make it like a large collective, then it's legal for everybody that wants to be involved, and we can do, interstate, or not interstate, but, in-state transporting and all this other stuff, and have kind of a dispensary model, or like a model where we trade cannabis for other things, possibly money. And then that's the way to do it. That's the way to make it legal for people. But, there's only 24 states that have a ballot initiative process that can actually propose medical marijuana, outside the legislature. And that's how most of the states have gotten medical marijuana, is through a ballot initiative process. So only 24 states have the ability to do that. Only 15 states have done that. And 26 states are left out in the dark until the legislators grow a brain. And I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know if they're ever going to grow a conscience to, reschedule, to legalize, or to make it medicine, or to make it medical marijuana. I mean, I don't know that they even want that. They have too many corporate sponsors that have, that are stakeholders in this, that don't want it legalized. And I think that they have too much influence from big pharma and the logging industry and all these other things that don't want to see hemp legalized either. So I don't think that's going to happen for these other 26 states. I really don't. I mean, I think New Jersey and Colorado may have done that through the legislature, if I remember correctly. But even New Jersey hasn't had their medical marijuana implemented. They've had it passed, but it's been over a year, and there's no access yet. And there's nobody that's actually legal, nobody actually getting recommends yet, because it was too complicated, because that's the way the legislature designed it. They designed it so that it wouldn't be implemented. And that's why they're still waiting. It's over a year now, they're still waiting. So, I don't think we can depend on the legislators to do it. I think we need to have a ballot initiative process to do it. And I think we need to do it on a federal level so that the feds can't keep overriding state law like they continuously do. And, even though we have legal marijuana for patients in Washington, recently on April 28th, the feds came in and stomped us all down, or stomped all these patients down. Like 4 or 5 collectives got raided. And it was led by the feds, it was led by the DEA. And yeah, they recruited some local resources, but it was led by the Department of Justice and the DEA. And we need to stop that. And the way I've proposed to do that, and I think this is the end-all, be-all of cannabis prohibition, is we pass the National Initiative for Democracy. This is something that Senator Mike Gravel proposed, I think, in 2001. And they're still working on it. I'm starting to get on board now, and we're going to start making T-shirts for it. And we're going to, I am promoting it all over the web. But I think that that's the way to get it started, is to get this national initiative passed. It's called the Democracy Act. It would amend our Constitution. I believe it would be like the 28th or 29th Amendment. And then we would have a constitutional national referendum that we could propose national ballot initiatives, and if everybody agreed, we could pass a ballot initiative that ends the Controlled Substances Act or simply removes cannabis from it on a national level, so that the feds can't continue to override our laws on a state level. So, like I said, if anybody's got criticism for me, if you think you can do a better job, come on my radio show June 1st, and we can talk about it. June 1st, 3 p.m. And the phone number, and we can take call-ins, that's fine. Anybody who's going to be, combative or personally insulting, I'll just drop their call. But if you want to actually logically and diplomatically discuss this topic, call in to 888-NI4D-USA. Otherwise, it's 888-644-3872, and the extension to get to the radio show is 709. That won't be announced on the main greeting, so you'll have to just press 709 to get into the show. And you can call in and we can have a chat, and I would love to discuss that with you. If you have a better proposal than the National Initiative for Democracy or ending prohibition, if you have something that's better, or if you think that my logic is flawed, I'd be happy to discuss that with you. We've done this before. I've done, probably 40 radio shows. I've called into conservative talk radio. I've been a guest on different conservative talk radio shows, and we've discussed this many times in the past, and I'll be happy to do it again. And I think it's a very important issue, so I'm not going to be, letting this pass by without a fight. I think we need to fight this rescheduling thing. It's really a bad thing for cannabis. I do not want to see Big Pharma get a hold of my crops. All right, peace. Check out the National Initiative for Democracy at vote.org. You can sign it online. You can be a part of the solution. And if you're, being complacent, if you're being apathetic, if you're not doing anything but complaining, then you're part of the problem. So do something. Let's solve this problem. Peace.